Republicans are now in control of the House, and they're wasting no time getting to work visiting the southern border, where illegal migrants continue to flood in, creating a humanitarian and a national security crisis. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy says Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas has two options for his handling of the crisis: resign or face impeachment. Listen.
His actions have produced the greatest wave of illegal immigration in recorded history. If Secretary Mayorkas does not resign, House Republicans will investigate every order, every action, and every failure will determine whether we can begin impeachment inquiry.
Wow. Joining me now for more is Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida, who's been very hot about this topic in particular. Congressman, good to see you. Congratulations for your reelection. I just want to ask, the DHS came out with a statement concerning the comments of the congressman at the border, and they said the following: Secretary Mayorkas is proud to advance the noble mission of this department. The department will continue our work to enforce our laws and secure our border while building a safe, orderly, and humane immigration system. Now, first of all, that's just an insult to our intelligence. We know that the border is less secure. I mean, the numbers are so out of whack to these comments. And to suggest that it's humane, that they're building a more humane system, when there were over 800 immigrants that died last fiscal year alone in various accidents, drownings, et cetera. I mean, it's neither humane nor is it secure.
That statement from the Department of Homeland Security is pure propaganda. That's what that is. I mean, they're lying to us. Secretary Mayorkas, in my opinion, when he tells Congress that the border is secure, that's a lie, because anybody that goes down there and sees it firsthand knows the truth. Listen, it's not just the people who've died on the journey crossing the southern border illegally. It is the young girls who are raped and sold into sex slavery by the drug cartels. That happens as well. It's the pounds and hundreds of thousands of pounds of fentanyl crossing our border, killing our citizens in the United States. And last but not least, what they've done is the most liberal interpretation of asylum in the history of the United States. So if they're cool with that, then that's one thing, but the American people are not. Republicans in Congress are not. We are going to hold investigations because enough is enough.
Well, I don't know if you heard the last segment. We had Art Laffer on. And of course, his focus has always been on the economy. He worries that, you know, diverting attention from the economy, granted, you have to deal with what's going on in the border. You have to call out their bad behavior. But if you impeach Mayorkas, let's face it, his replacement is going to be no different. He's going to have the same mental mindset as Mayorkas does, or the same actions or non-actions as Vice President Kamala Harris has. So, I mean, maybe you just focus on hearings that expose how horrible the situation is at the border, stopping short of an impeachment hearing.
Look, I love my good friend Art Laffer. He is one of the great economic minds of our time. But on this one, he's just not in the right place where we need to be. If you just let Mayorkas stay there and we just hold hearings and then you just keep throwing out the information, guess what? The New York Times doesn't care unless you're sending migrants to New York City. The Washington Post doesn't care unless you're dropping migrants off in front of the Naval Observatory. And all they do is bash Republicans for playing politics. I'm not here to play politics. I'm here to speak truth. I'm here to get the job done. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can handle the energy policies, the economic policies, while also managing the border and doing what is necessary on behalf of the American people. I understand why Art believes that, and a lot of people actually believe that. And that's because if you look at the history of our politics, typically Washington can only focus on one issue at a time. But I'm a business guy. I can focus on 4 issues at a time. So can a lot of other people up on Capitol Hill. That's what we need to be. That's what we need to be doing, because it's time to get down to business for the American people.
Congressman, I hope if you have a committee hearing, you put out time, you play this tape that I'm going to play for you in a moment over and over and over again, because what the Democrats are saying now is so different from what the same Democrats were saying just a couple of years ago. Roll tape.
Construction of a 630-mile border fence, or 630 miles of border fence, that create a significant barrier to illegal immigration on our southern land border. Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
The bill before us will certainly do some good. It will authorize some badly needed funding for better fences and better security along our borders, and that should help stem some of the tide of illegal immigration in this country.
All right. Now, I want to talk about the student loan issue, but you got to play that over and over and over again, because right now they're saying completely the opposite.
I mean, I'll play it, but they don't care. Even Chuck Schumer doesn't care. He just came out yesterday talking about a pathway to citizenship. So look, the Democrats only care about the issue that's going to help them get elected. Yeah. Just that simple.
All right,
we got to get to work for the American people.
Let's switch gears to this President Biden's bailout of student loan debt to the tune of $500 billion. And even short of that, by the way, he's now extended the moratorium on payment until June, something he said he wasn't going to do. He said it was going to be over in December. That's another $40 billion on top of the $200 billion we've already spent. I mean, how does this thing end?
Well, this is where Congress has to do its job and actually go back in and unwind a lot of these presidential emergencies that are created by executive order. He's using an emergency doctrine from COVID-19 to extend these moratoriums. It's outrageous. So this is Congress's fault. We have to reassert our authority in the federal bureaucracy and the federal government and take away some of these powers from the executive. What he's doing is playing politics. He is buying votes, pure and simple. And for my friends on the other side of the aisle who want to talk about democracy is always on the line, when the president abuses his authority to literally buy votes from the American people, that is destructive of our democracy. The president should not be doing this anymore. COVID-19 has long since been an issue. Nobody's even talking about it anymore. But he's doing this simply to buy votes and to keep his approval numbers up long enough, because the rest of his agenda has been a disaster.
Well, by the way, it's predicated not only on the emergency, but also on the HEROES Act, which goes way back, and it just doesn't fit at all. So when the Supreme Court gets it, I'm sure they're going to throw it out, but will it have gone too far? That is, will millions of people have signed these notes saying, you know, I deserve the student loan forgiveness because of this and that and what the president has suggested? I mean, is it possible to claw back the money that's been spent? I mean, that's going to be tough to do.
We can definitely do it, but the truth is it has gone too far. It has to be clawed back. We can't just wait for the Supreme Court or any court to solve these problems. That's why you got to have men and women in Congress. Yes, I'm looking at you, Georgia, because Raphael Warnock is going to sign off on all this stuff and everything's going to be okay. You got to have men and women in Congress who are going to do the right thing. Any silly emergencies that Joe Biden or frankly anybody else continues to use only for political gain. It is not helping the country long term.
Congressman Byron Donalds, I hope you've gotten a lot of sleep in the past couple of days, because you're going to be up for many, many nights in the next 2 years. It's going to be a very busy time for you guys. We thank you for coming in, though, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, Congressman. Hope you have time with your family.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you.